Alright, let's take a look at, let's see, first thing you want to know on this here, the midpoint. Sorry, we're going to take a look at class intervals. So we're starting to get to our continuous data down here. Okay, so yeah, this here, if you got a class interval, that's continuous data. The one we just did was our frequency data, and then the first examples we did was the ungrouped data, so that's we're hitting all three of those. Okay, so again, here's our continuous data. The midpoint of a class interval, and that's this here, is the average of its endpoints. So basically, you're just taking the middle of this interval. So it's basically it's 0 to 50. So the midpoint is on this one here. Basically, the average of 0 and 50 is just 50 divided by 2, right? So that gives us, let's show our math here, 50 divided by 2 gives us 25 is the midpoint of that one. Okay. Midpoint of this one is 50 plus 100, so 150 divided by 2 gives us 75 is the midpoint for this one. This one is 250 divided by 2, which gives us 125 is the midpoint. 150 and 200 is what, 350? Divided by 2 is 175. You can kind of see a pattern forming here. It goes up by 50 each time. This one's going to be 450 divided by 2, which is 225. And this one's going to be 550 divided by 2, which is 275. Okay, so those are all our midpoints. Okay, and now really once we get to this point here, now it's just like what we did with our frequency data. So now we're just going to take our midpoint times our frequency and see what we get. So 25 times 12. Let's do, how about this? We'll make our math in that column, and then it's going to equal this column here. Okay, so this one's going to be what, 75 times 20, 24 times, oops, let's be consistent, 125 times 24, 175 times 23, 225 times 17, and 275 times 6. Okay? So, when we multiply those all out, we get, thankfully the book has already done it for us, so I'm just going to copy down their table instead of multiplying every one of them out. 25 times 12 gives us 300. 75 times 20 is 1,500. This one's 3,000. 4,025. 3,825 for the next one. And the last one is 1,650. Okay? So, on this one here, if we add all these up, 12 plus 20 plus 24, 23. Again, they did that on in the book too, but let's just do it on our calculator for good measure. So 12 plus 20 plus 24 plus 23 plus 17 plus 6 gives us 102. So our total frequency is 102. Now we're going to also want to know all of these added up as well. Oops, sorry about that. So we are going to want to add those all up as well. So let's see, we got 300 plus 1,500 plus 3,000 plus 4025 plus, oops, 4024. Let's see, we got to go back and change that to 25. There we go. 4025. Got 3825, 3825, and 1650. gives us 14,300, and thankfully that's what the book got to. Was it 14,300? Yeah, 14,300. One thing to kind of, as a little side note to make sure that you do, when you're adding these all up on your calculator, a lot of calculators, if you push the same button twice in a row really fast, it won't register both. So like when you're entering in 300 and 1,500 and 3,000, make sure that you hit make sure that it shows up, each one of the zeros show up, otherwise you're going to get some data that's way off. Okay, so let's use this here so that we can find our mean. Here's our total amount here divided by our the total amount of numbers. So we can just, for our mean for part A, we're going to take 14,300 and divide it by 102. So 14,300 divided by 102 gives us 140.2. Let's go with that. 140.2 is our mean. Alright. So let's see now to find the mode. Again, if we have 102 pieces of data, take 102 divided by 2, and we get 51. So there should 51 between the 51st and the 52nd piece of data is the median. So we want to take the average of the 51st and the 52nd. Right? And so that find the average, you add those two together, divide by 2, right? So we're up from 12 and 20 gives us 32. 32 and 24 is 50. Let's see. Sorry, 32, 42, 52, 56. So the mode is going to be between the 51st and 52nd, and that's going to basically what you want. All you need to do on this is just write that the modal class is the 100 to 149.99 class. Okay, so that's your answer for that here. It's just your modal class. You don't even have to come up with the actual number, just say which group it's in. Okay.